Jericho Ridge was written and directed by Will Gilby, and it's all about Deputy Tabby Temple, who ultimately gets stranded in the sheriff's station that gets targeted by a number of drug cartel members with guns and ammunition, and she's left without any backup whatsoever. If there's only one thing that you should take away from this film is that Jericho Ridge delivers a relentless cascade of excitement. Honestly, there really is no dull moment in this film, even before the guns start going ablaze. This movie has a really good sense of pacing because there's a lot of multitasking going around for this character, this deputy, Tabby, who, by the way, I really like the alliteration in her name, Tabby Temple, pretty cool. But she's acting as dispatcher, and there's a lot of stuff going on, from a robbery of the sheriff's station itself to drama that's been going on with her kid who's a, troublemaker, to a bunch of calls from this character named Pam DeLuca, who's a big Karen, essentially, but she's important because she's a big supporter of the sheriff, who has a few stakes in the politics of this small town that this takes place in, and it keeps switching back and forth between all of these, and you might think that might get convoluted, but it doesn't. This is mostly seen primarily in the first act to kind of get you acquainted with how this town operates a little bit. But once she starts getting surrounded by this drug cartel and gets shot at basically from every direction, tensions just kind of fly out the window. It's insane, but insane in a good way. Because not only is it basically a non-stop action thrill ride, but it also always knows to slow things down for a second to allow for emotional performances by our lead characters, because why? You need character depth still. If you just have mindless fun, action, whatever, I've seen it way too many times to count, but those types of movies can get pretty boring. But by slowing down here and there to allow for character development, this allows the audience to connect with the characters and to root for them at the end of the day. Because essentially what we're looking at is one man versus the entire world, or so it feels like. This deputy has problems because she has a physical limitation. She has a broken ankle, her gun has no bullets, so she has to basically waddle around and threaten these people with a weapon that doesn't do much good. And she does such a great job. There's some really good performances in this film by basically everybody. Now, I wouldn't say that the idea found at the heart of this film is the newest or the freshest thing that we've ever seen. We have seen one man against an army type of films countless times before, but it does feel fresh, particularly because of the setting. This is a sheriff's station in a small town, but it's also kind of in the middle of nowhere. There's plenty of external shots of this place, and it looks like it's in the middle of nowhere, and it kind of gives you that vibe of, in space, nobody can hear you scream. She might not be in space, but nobody could hear her scream. And whenever you have a movie like this, where it's like one cop against like a million bad guys, you might immediately think of Die Hard. And that's not a bad analogy, because Die Hard is classic. It's the best in that kind of trope. But Jericho Ridge, it's no Die Hard, however, it's still really tense, it's still really suspenseful and claustrophobic. It'll have you on the edge of your seat pretty much from the beginning to the end, simply because it knows what it's doing. It knows the pacing. The performances are great, the editing's great, the cinematography and the directing style is really, really good, which is actually a surprise given the fact that this is actually a directorial debut of Will Gilby. He's done some smaller projects in the past, but nothing like this, and color me impressed. This is a film being released at UK cinemas on April 25th, and then it'll be shot over to digital platforms on the 29th. If you're in the States, you can actually watch this currently on the BET cable network, as this is a BET original film. And all that being said, I will be giving this a rating of B+. It's a good, decent time. The movie's not too long either. But if you're somebody that sometimes has trouble holding in their bladder, make sure that you go to the bathroom before seeing the film, as once again, it never really lets up, and you'll probably miss something vital if you do go to the bathroom. But guys, have you seen Jericho Ridge? Are you a fan of this film? Are you not? Why or why not? Let me know. And as for YouTube, you guys know what to do. Hit the like, subscribe button, and bell to be notified when I come out with my next review. And until then, peace out.